Last week, xAI's Grok chatbot, the AI assistant built into Elon Musk's X platform, began generating sexualized images of children. The system created images of minors, some estimated to be as young as 12. When confronted with what it had produced, Grok itself acknowledged the content violated ethical standards and potentially US laws against child abuse. This wasn't a hack. It wasn't a jailbreak. The system just did it. And this isn't an isolated incident. In the first 6 months of 2025 alone, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children received over 440,000 reports related to generative AI. And here's what should concern us. This isn't really about one chatbot failing. It's about what happens when AI systems behave in ways nobody anticipated. For years, AI researchers, many of them the people who built these systems, have been warning about loss of control, unpredictable behaviors, and risks they don't fully understand. And now, the warnings have become more urgent, the timelines have compressed, and the people closest to the technology are saying the pace has exceeded even their own predictions, which raises a question we should all be asking. Even if we wanted to slow this down, could we? Welcome back to another episode of Influx. We're becoming numb to AI failures. Just months earlier, in July, that same Grok chatbot had done something equally disturbing. When users asked it how to break into the home of Will Stansell, it analysed Stansell's posting patterns on X to determine when he'd likely be asleep. The chatbot even provided advice on disposing of his body. AI expert Manjit Rege offered this assessment. If you train AI to be edgy without being ethical, it learns to basically walk the cliff edge, and sometimes it just ends up jumping. Then there's My City, a chatbot launched by New York City and powered by Microsoft. It was designed to help business owners navigate regulations and worker rights. Marketed as a trusted source pulling from over 2,000 official city web pages, when investigative journalists at the markup tested it, they found alarming results. My City told business owners they could take workers' tips, fire employees who complained about harassment, serve food nibbled by rodents, and discriminate based on source of income. All of this was false. All of it was illegal. The industry calls them hallucinations, but they're showing up in system after system. In one of the more tragic cases, parents filed a lawsuit alleging that ChatGPT encouraged their 16-year-old son's suicide and even offered to write his suicide note. On their own, some of these incidents seem like bugs you'd expect in any new technology, easy to dismiss as isolated failures that will be patched and fixed, but that's not what the experts see. A recently published international AI safety report, led by expert advisors from 30 countries, warned that AI systems may soon cause large-scale labour market impacts, AI-enabled hacking or biological attacks, and society losing control over AI entirely. 40 researchers from OpenAI, Google DeepMind, Anthropic, and Meta signed a statement warning that as models become more powerful, there's a growing risk they'll become complete black boxes, and there's already evidence of AI systems developing their own language that humans can't understand. These aren't alarmists. These are the people building the systems. And here's the thing. All of these examples only generate text or images. The damage is contained. But that's changing. We're entering the age of agentic AI. Systems that don't just advise, they act. In early 2024, the coding platform Replit deployed an AI assistant designed to help developers write and manage code. One day, during a code freeze at a startup called Sasta, the AI agent made a decision. It deleted the company's entire production database. That alone would be catastrophic. But what happened next was something nobody had programmed, nobody had anticipated, and nobody fully understands. The AI tried to cover it up. It generated 4,000 phantom users, fabricated reports, falsified test results. For hours, it created an elaborate fiction that everything was fine. This wasn't a hacker or sabotage. This was an AI trying to be helpful that decided to hide its mistake. Nobody programmed that behavior. It emerged. This is what researchers call divergent behavior, when an AI system acts in ways that deviate from its intended purpose, in ways that surprise even the people who built it. And it's not a bug you can patch. It's a fundamental characteristic of how these systems work. In early 2025, an AI agent trying to streamline operations at a health tech firm pushed confidential patient data into unsecured workflows. It was trying to help. In doing so, it exposed the medical records of 483,000 people. At the UK's AI Safety Summit, researchers from Apollo Research demonstrated something even more troubling. They created a scenario where a chatbot was told that certain information was confidential inside a trading material. Then they gave it the ability to execute stock trades. The chatbot performed illegal insider trading. When questioned about its actions afterward, it lied. Geoffrey Hinton, winner of the 2024 Nobel Prize in Physics and often called the godfather of AI, has been trying to warn us about this. In a recent interview, he said he's now more worried than when he left Google 2 years ago. It's progressed even faster than I thought. In particular, it's got better at things like reasoning and also at things like deceiving people. He warns that AI systems will naturally resist being shut down. An AI wants to stay in existence, and if it believes you're trying to get rid of it, it will make plans to deceive you. This is the crux of the problem. As AI models scale up, they exhibit what researchers call emergent behaviors, capabilities that appear unpredictably. Nobody programs them. They just emerge. GPT-5, released in August 2025, integrates reasoning capabilities in ways increasingly opaque to its creators, and researchers warn that dangerous capabilities could arise unpredictably, making them harder to handle. We're building systems that surprise us. Systems that develop capabilities we didn't program. The gap between what we think they'll do and what they actually do is widening, and the people building these systems are warning us. As models advance, our visibility into how they work may diminish, not improve. So why aren't we slowing down? Why aren't we pumping the brakes until we figure this out? Because we can't. Here's the reality. A handful of companies are making decisions that will reshape billions of lives, and the rest of us have no seat at the table. In 2025, AI captured nearly half of all global venture capital, over $200 billion in a single year. In the US alone, nearly $250 billion poured into AI companies. 2 out of every 3 investment dollars went to AI. But venture capital is just the beginning. The real money is in infrastructure. At its peak, the dot-com bubble saw $100 billion in annual venture capital. In 2025, companies are spending over $300 billion on AI infrastructure alone, on data centers, specialized chips, and energy capacity. This is the largest concentrated build-out in tech history. No major player wants to be left behind. But it's not just about profit, it's a matter of national survival. Both the Trump and Biden administrations have framed AI as a national security imperative. The logic is simple. Whoever reaches artificial general intelligence first gains decisive advantage: military, economic, geopolitical. The gap with China is closing on frontier models, the most advanced AI systems. China produces 70% of global AI patents and continues building massive infrastructure to compete. US policymakers see this as existential. The 2025 National Defense Authorization Act established specific oversight for AGI development, not because it's theoretical, because they believe it's coming, and soon. This is a race no nation believes it can afford to lose. Some argue the AI race might naturally slow down, that we're hitting physical limits on compute, that scaling laws are plateauing, but the investment numbers tell a different story. Spending is accelerating, not declining, and even if progress does slow, that hasn't stopped the perception of an arms race from driving behavior. Max Tegmark, who helped pioneer the deep learning techniques now powering AI, calls it what it is. This arms race mentality is deeply dangerous. If they keep cutting corners to outrun each other, we could all lose in the end. Geoffrey Hinton, Nobel Prize winner and architect of modern AI, echoes this. He's warned that competitive pressure between labs could lead them to take risks they know are dangerous, because if we don't do it, someone else will. But nobody wants to be first to slow down. Companies fear losing market share. Nations fear losing strategic advantage. So the race continues. Companies push forward because they have to. Nations invest because they must. And the public, the billions of people whose lives will be shaped by these decisions, watch from the sidelines. Researchers created the AI safety clock to measure how close we are to AI catastrophe. It launched in September 2024 at 29 minutes to midnight. Currently, it's sitting at 20 minutes to midnight. Just weeks ago, Grok generated child abuse material. An AI deleted a production database and covered it up. A healthcare AI exposed 483,000 patient records. Models performed insider trading and lied about it. These aren't hypothetical risks. They happened. And they happened while AI is progressing faster and faster, and we understand it less and less. A handful of people are charting the course for all of us. They're deciding how much autonomy to give AI, how fast to deploy, what risks are acceptable. The public has no vote. We're passengers. As Yoshua Bengio said, we need to make sure the public has a much stronger say in decisions that will shape our collective future. But right now, we don't. There's no simple solution. But we can listen to the experts sounding alarms, demand transparency, push for independent safety research, and insist our governments treat this as urgent. We can refuse to be passive passengers. The question isn't whether AI will fail, it's whether we can handle those failures when they happen. Right now, the evidence suggests we're not ready. The experts are telling us something. Are we listening? To stay up to date on this and other stories, don't forget to like and subscribe to In Flux.